What's going on, everyone? You're watching Emeroy TV, the place to be to move, groove, and grow. And today is Grow Friday, and it's becoming a little bit more of a Q&A segment. I really like taking the questions from you guys, either that you request from me on Twitter or Quora, or when you guys message or DM me on Facebook or Instagram. Though I do answer you guys, if the question's great, I will just make it into a video and put it on YouTube and on Facebook, on Instagram TV. So if you're not following me there, make sure you do. And if you're not subscribed to this channel, what the heck's wrong with you? Subscribe. Come on. What is your first experience of dancing in front of the crowd? Okay, so here's the general process that I go through when I'm about to go on stage. The difference between the first time I did it and now. I remember that memory quite vividly. I remember like days before, I was super nervous. I really didn't want to mess up in front of the stage because it was my first performance was a competition, and you know, you want to win, and you're a rookie, you don't want to fuck up in front of, you know, the veterans, and you want to kind of prove yourself. So there's a lot of pressure on that end. First time you get on stage is probably like the moments before stage. The first time around was like, honestly, kind of like a blur. You're just doing whatever you can to keep your body moving and just keep your body warm and keep yourself like focused on what you got to do. And then once the minute you're on stage, the minute you hear the crowd cheering is probably the most, you know, exciting and most electrifying experience ever, because it's almost like the energy flows in through you and then through the movement of your dance. I think the important thing is being able to control that energy as it flows through you, because if you get overly excited, which happened to me on one of the competitions where I lost focus and I blanked out for a quick second on the choreography, it can be detrimental. So, but now when I get right when I'm about to perform on stage, you know, I still get nervous. No matter how often you've been dancing, you're gonna get nervous no matter what. But you convert that energy from nervousness to being excited, which is, you know, just a shift in mentality, and all that comes with experience. That comes with just, you know, years and years of doing it. It's still gonna be there nonetheless. But back then, when I first did it, like you're very focused on trying to execute. Now I'm at a level of like I can actually hear myself think while I'm dancing, and I can actually have mini conversations like, okay, rest here, or kill it here, or smile here. You start thinking at a different level, and you know, that the experience that you get in front of an audience is, no, it doesn't change. Like you don't have control over how the crowd's going to react, because there are going to be times where the crowd just is quiet and they're not very like interactive or, you know, as energetic as you may like. But that's where like the satisfaction of giving it your best is really going to matter. So I hope that answers your question. What's the best music for breakdancing? Generally, like, being true to the foundation, funk, hip-hop, which is generally 90s hip-hop, break beats, and you can just literally search up break beats anywhere. What are the differences between hip-hop and breakdance? There is no difference. Breakdance or b-boying is hip-hop. B-boying is one of the 4 elements of hip-hop, which is graffiti art, DJing, and MCing. B-boying is hip-hop. If you're talking about urban dance or urban choreography, that in itself is a completely different thing, where urban dance or hip-hop choreography is essentially an evolved form of jazz that has taken hip-hop moves or hip-hop elements and incorporated it into it. There's a whole debate on whether hip-hop choreography is hip-hop. I personally think it kind of is. It's like, but it's more like a hybrid of different styles. One of the common things that a lot of the hip-hop elements have is that they have the opportunity to battle. B-boying, you can battle through as an MC, you can battle as a DJ, you can, like, I think that's what makes hip-hop unique, is the opportunity to battle, in a sense, to go head-to-head with your opponent. And I personally think hip-hop choreography, though it's not an original style, I think it's, you know, if anything, a child or even a cousin to hip-hop. So, yes. Gannon J. Fitzgerald asked, what are good general rules to follow in hip-hop dancing? I think there's 2. One is learn your foundation. So depending on whatever, actually that's the #1 rule. Learn your foundation. and then practice the crap out of that, because for any style of dance, whether it's breaking, locking, popping, house, whacking, even hip-hop choreography, there are foundational elements that I think everyone needs to learn in order to be able to execute it properly. And because I think if people try to run before they learn how to walk, it's going to look awkward and choppy and not as finessed as it could be. So, and then there's nothing wrong with people trying to make that jump right off the bat, because you can always take a step back and clean it up. But I think the process will be much faster if you take your time to get your foundations right, because then having a strong foundation will give you flexibility to experiment and do things the way you want it. So get your foundation. I like this question. Mira Danko, do you consider dance a sport or an art? Both, because there's a level of creativity that you need to have at the same time. In order to master your craft, you have to practice a lot. Very similar to how people say the art of basketball or the art of whatever. It's not just the technical, there's the technical aspect of dance where you, like for breaking, you practice a very long time just to get your handstands or your head spins. That's very technical, which is where I think it is a sport, because it's such a high level of technique. Like, you can't just grab someone in the middle of the street and say, hey, do a headstand, hey, do a head spin. That requires a lot of practice and a lot of strength. That's where I think the technical aspect of and sport side of dance is. But then there's the level of creativity in the moment, being able to be in sync with the music, being able to create and interpret what the music is saying according to what you feel in here. So in here and in here. So I think it's both. I think it's kind of dumb to label it as dance is an art, dance is a sport. It's both, because it requires a lot of creativity and a lot of physicality. And you can be a little bit more on either extreme, but either one, I don't think either one lives without the other. From Bianca Zhao, or Zoe, when trying to improve rapidly at hip-hop dance, is it better to learn many new choreographies and techniques, or focus at one dance technique and in depth? I'd say practicing one style, because when you allow yourself to fully immerse into the dance style or even the choreographer's style, because a choreographer like Wildebeest Adams is very different from Shauna Varisto, very different from Kahanagami. Those are very different instructors. And I think in terms of hip-hop choreography, I think you have that flexibility because it makes you move in different ways. If you really want to be a master at Kahanagami style, you would just take Kahanagami's class. It would make sense to kind of just get variety in terms of the hip-hop choreography. But I personally think allow yourself to go deep in really studying the style, because then you figure out the nuances, and to the point where it becomes second nature, where it becomes natural to you. When you try to divide your attention or divide your learning into too many subjects at once, you don't exactly get the immersion or the depth that you want. So instead of taking three classes of three different styles, imagine now taking three classes of one particular style. Imagine how much more immersed, how much you have learned for just that one style, because you're letting your brain take in all this information and then soaking it in to master this one style. When it comes to 3 styles or 5 styles or even however many styles you want, you're taking a whole bunch of information, and a lot of it is very surface level to begin with, because you haven't gotten that far deep in yet. A lot of that information is getting mixed, and a lot of that information isn't as deep as it could be when it starts to marinate on the subconscious level. Or let yourself focus on one style for maybe even 3 months just to start. I know there's so many styles that you want to do out there. You can have one primary style, but have another style as a supplementary style for that one. I'm not opposed to that, but it's all up to you. It depends on the end goal that you want to do. That's what it really comes down to. If you really want to be a good b-boy, then focus all your efforts on b-boying, and then supplement that with other styles that give you, different modes, different branches of being creative. It goes back down to what your end goal is, and let that dictate the actions. So that's it for today's segment of Grow Friday. If you liked this segment, make sure you hit like, subscribe, hit the bell button so you know whenever these videos come out. And every day is something different. Monday's a vlog, Tuesday is social media marketing tips, Wednesday is a dance tutorial, Thursday is a showcase of how I approach all the philosophies and stuff I teach you on this channel and how I apply it to my own craft. And Friday is Q&A, inspirational insights, how to be more productive, more stuff for the mind, which is the most important tool that you can have. So that's it. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.